Everybody can say they're a self-made whatever. You're not.
That's bullshit.
It's 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
Somebody opened a door for you at some point. The difference between people that make it and people that don't are the willingness to walk through that door or recognizing that door. You have to be uncommon. The common man goes nowhere. If you do want to elevate and you want to do your own thing and create your own destiny, you got to be willing to take those shots and not give up.
Shawn French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time. I confirmed it. A whole society determined.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Determined Society. I am your host, Shawn French. Today, as you can see, we're in a different location. We're at Iron Valley Real Estate here in Norfolk, Virginia for the Determine Your Destiny Tour. I'm super excited to announce today's guest. Before I do that though, if it's your first time listening to the show, please hit subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Go check it out. Leave a comment, leave a review. I want to know what you think. Today, I have the president and CEO of Noble Title and Escrow here in Norfolk, Virginia, my man, Matt Kantro. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm jacked to have you. You're just a handsome son of a bitch. Look at you.
I'm going to get off and say it's Kantro, just to let you know. Everybody messes up the first time.
What did I say?
I don't know, whatever somebody said. A telemarketing phone call.
Did I say Kantro? What did I say?
No, it was some version of it, but you're fine.
Whatever, man. Hey, we're not perfect here, guys. We just keep moving. So I apologize for that.
Everybody,
I do know your name.
Guys.
I do know your name. It's fine. I've already fucked up, guys. Here we go. But dude, it's so nice to meet you. We're here for this amazing event. You're actually the stage sponsor, correct?
I am. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So, let's talk about the event first, about what led you to become a stage. That's a pretty big thing. Did you believe in the mission? What spoke to you?
So a little bit of everything going on. So Mike and I have known each other for going on 5 years now. Okay. Right around the time I was starting Noble, they were starting Iron Valley. Mm-hmm. They were talking about doing a title company. I needed business for a title company. So we kind of linked up. We've kind of grown hand in hand together. So pretty much anything Mike is doing,
you're involved.
We're involved with. Same thing the other way. Iron Valley supports Noble pretty well.
That's awesome, dude.
So yeah, just supporting Mike and watching him do his different adventures that he keeps coming up with. And there's nothing that he does that he doesn't commit 100%.
Yeah, dude, I've noticed that about him. I met him in July. And he's just...
Yeah.
He's my kind of people, man. What I think is awesome, because you and I were talking off air about, social media, instant gratification of society, and everybody wants something now. And there's a lot of competition in the world, right? And I fully believe we don't live in a competitive world. And this is something that a lot of people are going to listen to the show or watch it on YouTube and be like, what the fuck is he about to say?
Yeah, you got my attention right now.
We live in a co-creative world. And it's somebody's choice every single day. Are you going to compete or are you going to co-create? And you and Michael decided to co-create together. That says a lot about how he feels about you and how you feel about him. What are your thoughts there?
100%. I think there's different avenues of that. There's definitely the competition side of things.
Sure.
And I think that's an important, we're going to talk about,
absolutely.
Growing in, I think in sports and competition is probably what fueled a lot of this. I mean, I think Mike has that competitive desire also, but the collaborative aspect of things, collaboration over competition, he says a lot, definitely plays a role in business. For certain things, there's definitely things that, for example, title companies can get together to benefit the industry. Yeah, we're all competing for agents. We're all competing for the same people, but there's aspects of the industry and, aspects of life where definitely you come together for the betterment of the industry you're in. And I see him do that a lot. Yeah,
I love it. And again, I want to clarify for the audience and even just with you, when I say we don't live in a competitive environment, I don't mean that there's not competition and there's not other people out there competing. What I mean is if we focus on the co-creation part of it, right? And we focus on the processes and what we're trying to grow in our businesses and our culture, right? Within the business and our standards and everything like that, when we always rise to the standards and the processes every single day, we're going to beat the competition 9 out of 10 times. Because you know why? We know they're there. We respect them, but we don't think about them. We think about what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
That's
block out the noise.
You have to. And it's interesting because in sports, you grew up playing baseball, and at 14, you specialized in hockey.
Yeah.
Then you played college hockey up in Boston, where you got your college degree. And
just low level, club, just for the viewers out there. Wasn't anything, no Boston University.
You played, right? And you got to see 3 world championships, by the way. That was pretty fun. Cool, man. That's pretty dope. But
nothing like drinking at 18 and 6 a.m. for championship.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, maybe I should go to class, but I'm going to do this anyway.
They cancel class.
I bet you they did.
Boston.
Yeah. So I just think it's really cool. Like when you talk about that competitive spirit that you have as a young child and adolescent and going into college, how do you feel that competitiveness has helped you grow your business?
So I'll hone in more on the hockey thing. So I was a goalie.
Oh, really?
So one of those things was blocking out the noise. Being a goalie, it's pretty mental. You're there by yourself. You are the last thing. You give up a goal, you have to be able to reset.
Yeah.
So that plays into business, I think, where, you're gonna, you say you can curse on this show.
Go ahead, man.
You're gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's being able to, same thing when you give up a goal. It's being able to reset and go, okay, I fucked up. That doesn't mean the rest of it has to get fucked up.
Yeah.
You reset. Okay, here's what went wrong. Here's what I can do better. And you move forward.
I love that, man.
Blocking out the noise. I always told people, it's like, once you step on that ice, you can scream and yell from the stands all you want. It goes silent.
Yeah.
I can't hear a word you're saying. I can't hear the. I'm so locked in. And that's, with business and talking about Mike and stuff, it's being able to lock in and tune out the noise. The naysayers, people saying you can't do it. And there's a lot of people that said we couldn't do it. There's a lot of people that told Mike he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I think that aspect of things definitely plays into it.
Dude, it's great, man, because there's a lot of fuel, right? Like I always say when someone tells me that I can't do something, I remember where I started, people laughed.
Yeah.
They laughed. They laughed at me, man.
Yeah.
And I think some people still are because now they're mad because they were wrong. Right. But I did not, I think at first it bothered me, Matt, it really truly did. But then I realized that if I just focus on what I'm doing and what I'm building and the purpose of why I'm doing it, I'm not going to hear it.
Yeah.
I won't hear it. And it's funny, we hit it off camera and now we're, having this great conversation. You were the last line of defense. You were a goalie. I was a catcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
I caught and played
baseball.
So yeah.
Amazing. We got a bromance going on in here. So it's like behind the plate, in the SEC, dude, I remember one time at Alex Box Stadium, the old Alex Box, they tore it down and turned it into a fucking parking lot. Midweek game. Even on our midweek games, we had about 8,000 people there at a college baseball game on a Wednesday playing Shreveport or some crazy stuff or Loyola in New Orleans. Pop up behind the dish.
All right.
I missed it. They're not easy. Pop-ups, those are not gimmies.
Take the mask off. You got to find it.
You got to backspin, wind, everything, right? You got to make sure you get your back to the, the field and be in a good position. And the amount of, in the whole stadium, it's I'm going to tell you, I could block a lot of things out. I could not block that out. Yeah. I heard that, man. That was loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're, talking about that though. That is, you were talking about business and people laughing and stuff like that. And yeah, that's, you fuck up. You can hear that noise for a second. It's okay. I think that makes people human.
Sure.
People laughed at us. This company was started, both of these companies were started during the pandemic.
Yeah, you started in 2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Yep. We talk about the start later on or whatever.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah. Of
course. People laughed and then you tune it out and then we started doing stuff and gaining traction. And then we brought on Sarah, who's our director of business development. And she came out with these ideas and things she had come from other title companies and worked in the industry and had these ideas. And we started doing these things. And then social media, we'd see other title companies doing the exact same thing. Oh, well, we started putting a closing graphic up and this company was doing it. And we were doing spotlights and this company was doing it. And at first, I was like, fuck these. we're sitting here coming up with these ideas. They're seeing it on social media. Let's just block all these people so you can't block everybody.
No, you can't.
So it got to the point where I let that noise get to me, but then it was fuel, tune it out. Well, if they're copying us, we're on their radar now and we're doing something right.
That's the thing. It's like the initial thing, right, that you did is you reacted.
Yep.
And I've done it too. I'm like, why is
human nature?
Why are they copying, man? Go get your own stuff. And then I'm like, wait a second. They're copying, and I guess there's a quote out there, like, what is it? When someone copies you, it's the best form of flattery or something like that. Or something like that. And now it's
imitation is a serious form of flattery.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. See, guys, he's on it, man. He's on it. So I think that's my point, is like, I want as many people to copy me as they want.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm at the point where I will give them all the secrets. I will tell them exactly how to grow their show. I don't care.
Here's the playbook. You gotta be willing to do the work.
Yeah, here's the playbook. Yeah. About 5 or 6 things. Go for it. Yeah. Have fun.
You gotta be willing to do it.
Hey, stay consistent, right? And so consistency is big, right? In sports and in entrepreneurship, especially. I want you to walk everybody through the start and the launch of Noble Title and Escrow in 2020 and how you guys have leaned on technology innovation.
I graduated 2011. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on because we went through a minor, economic crisis.
Oh yeah, that thing.
So didn't really know what I was going to do. I had a marketing degree. Left Boston because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to stay in that party city.
Yeah.
Came back, didn't really know what to do. I enrolled in a management program at a bank. And a couple of days before that program was supposed to start, they canceled the class. So they'd realized that they were training all of these people in this management program and didn't have anywhere to put them.
Yeah.
So they were training them and they were going to other banks. So like, all right, now what? And the biggest mentor I've had in my life is my grandfather. He's no longer with us, but he was a retired veterinarian. My entire life, he would be day trading in the stock market, watching CNBC, and he had a photographic memory. He'd watch CNBC all day long with the ticker at the bottom, and we'd call him up just for fun, be like, what was the last price of whatever, and he could rattle it.
He just remember it.
So I started getting into that as I got older, and he was in real estate, rental properties, and building. And I said to him at one point, this was before college, I was like, hey, I want to get into real estate. He goes, go to college, get a degree. If that's what you want to do when you get out, I'll help you get started. Well, here we are, fast forward. I'm out of college. I have no idea what I'm going to do. This management class got canceled. I was like, kind of want to do stock market. I kind of want to do what you do. And this was when you could buy foreclosure properties 25 cents on the dollar. So there's this property he'd been trying to buy forever from the bank, and he kept bidding on it. They kept saying no. And finally, we go and look at it, and we spent $42,000 on a townhouse in North. Now, I graduated 3 months ago. I have like $500 in my bank account. He made me sign a note to him for $21,000 for my portion of it. So, and that was one thing I credit, and I've taken that into business and stuff. He treated me like a partner, like a businessman, not a grandson. And when we were in the office together,
valuable lesson, man.
And that taught me a lot. I remember going to sleep and I was like, how the fuck am I going to pay him $21,000? I have $500 to my name right now. And then we started day trading, and taught me the ropes a little bit, kind of about it. And then he's very old school. Yeah. And then I started self-teaching options trading and charting and all that. And that little killing time before I figured out what I was going to do turned into a full-blown day trading.
Come on.
Him and I buying millions of dollars worth of stock at a time, in and out.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was an interesting time.
Yeah.
I had probably more money than I should have when I was 24 years old. Didn't know what to do with it. Bought a lot of stupid things.
I bet, dude.
We did that for a while, and he ended up getting sick. And around 2019, it stopped being fun. So I was by myself. It was him and I in an office all the time. We argued like business partners. I punched a hole in the wall one time.
Oh, wow.
And it just got to the point where like Monday morning, I got to turn this computer on, look at flashing numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good at it. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped doing that. I was building houses too at the time, flipping houses. And I was like, what am I going to do next? And I was having lunch with one of my friends who's a real estate attorney and another friend. We started talking about title. And they're like, there's some money in title.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I never really thought of it. Kind of wanted to go to law school. My dad was a lawyer. My brother's a lawyer. My dad told me he'd kill me if I went to law school. So like, there was also no jobs for lawyers when I graduated.
Yeah.
So all right, well, that's kind of close to law. That's teetering on there.
Sure.
It's interesting. So I started looking into it more, and then COVID hit, and I was locked in my condo with nothing to do, and I got introduced to Mike and Eric, and they're like, we're starting Iron Valley. You know, part of the package with them was a title company. I was like, well, I've actually had some conversations, and we've kind of already started mapping it out. Instead of giving them, you know, the parent company or whatever, whoever you're going to do it with, because I know they talked to a couple people, let's do it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It may take longer to get set up, but let me do it.
Yeah, sure.
And run with it.
Yeah.
So I, with nothing to do, crammed for the title exam. I did it in 2 weeks. Took it in this office, actually, because Noble didn't have an office yet. And then hit the ground running.
It's amazing, man.
And there was growing pains.
Dude, and that was an interesting time, because I don't know how it was up here in real estate, but in Florida, it fucking boomed.
So we had absolutely no idea. I remember sitting there, getting the license, getting everything started, and going, okay, COVID just shut everything down. How do you tour houses? How do you, like, this is either going to be a huge failure, or I spent a bunch of money to start, or it'll work, or who knows. And then, yeah, nobody saw what happened coming. And then the market just took off. They started recruiting agents. We're in here all the time for trainings and stuff, and started meeting agents and doing closings. And next thing you know, we're at, 25 closings a month, 30 closings a month. Now we're up over 100 every month. And it's wild to look back and go, that was almost 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. That's like consistent growth, right? Yeah. And I don't want to overlook your grandfather. Like, I appreciate that, because I lost all my grandparents when I was younger, right? And I mean, look, man, like, nothing is better than a grandparent, dude.
Yeah, I credit him with, I wouldn't be where I am without him.
Zero chance.
And I was gonna say, I might get emotional if I talk about him. But no, he was my grandfather, my mentor, my best friend,
your sparring partner too.
Like I mean, we would drive around looking at properties together. We would trade. We would do. I talked to a lot of real estate. I have a couch in my office, and a lot of agents treat it as a therapy couch. And I try to. They don't always listen, but try to give them that wisdom in those conversations that I had with my grandfather. And it's like, yeah, you argue, but we also, him and I, my view on, like, because they'll talk about certain teams and partnerships and working with people and contracts and paperwork, and like if you have to worry about a partnership agreement with somebody that you're going to go into business with, probably shouldn't be in business with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially to start off. It's different when you get to bigger companies doing that kind of stuff. But like, you're getting into real estate and you want to team up with somebody. If you don't feel 100% comfortable being in business with that person, that they're not going to screw you over, it's probably not the right person. My grandfather and I never had anything in writing. It was understood no matter what he did, 50% of it was mine. No matter what I did, 50% was his. And
cut and dry,
disagreed on a lot of shit.
I bet, man.
But I backed him, he backed me. And
it's valuable. I think everybody, for the audience, I just want you guys to listen and to this point is, look back in your life about that one mentor that you had. It could have been a grandparent, could have been a friend, or your parents. It's like the value that they bring is truly tremendous, because there's been mentors in my life that I don't think I would be where I'm at. Even the adversaries, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if those things didn't take place. And I always like to value the past, right? Instead of, I guess, bringing shame about the past of the stupid shit I used to do, or
You got to embrace it.
I embrace it all, man.
Embrace your screw ups, or else you never learn from them.
It's part of the growth journey, right? And I think a lot of times when people fail or they get egg on their face, they go, "Oh my God, look at me, poor me, this is victim bullshit." When they really need to look at it, and this
Go down a rabbit hole talking about today's society and victim mentality.
But we could, right? But this all gives insight to who you are and how you built your company. And the thing is when we focus on the past and the mistakes that we've made and the failures that we've made in our businesses, no matter how big or small, we start to realize like those are the moments that we grow into these amazing entrepreneurs. It's not the wins that take us there. It's all those micro failures, in between, right?
Yeah. And I equate, like, I go back to sports a lot in business and that team mentality and having, like, I come from hockey. That's a sport where if somebody hits one of your players, somebody runs your goal, you go to bed. Like, we self-police. We have each other's back no matter what. And I think in business, especially with partners, that's something you got to do. And then also, like, the conversations I have with people, I find myself mentoring people more often than I intend to. Nobody got to where they are without help.
Yep.
Everybody can say they're a self-made whatever. You're not.
That's bullshit.
It's 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
Somebody opened a door for you at some point. The difference between people that make it and people that don't are the willingness to walk through that door or recognizing that door.
Yep.
You got to be willing to take a chance or notice that somebody's trying to extend a hand to help you.
Yeah, man.
If you have this mentality of, fuck it, I don't need any help, I can do this on my own, you're probably never really going to make it. At some point, somebody's going to help you along the way.
I love that, dude. It's a great point because as you're speaking, I'm thinking of all those moments when I was super immature in building this show, saying, I did this all in me. I think there's a big component of me, but it's like there have been people strategically placed in my path every single stage. And it was up to me to embrace that, but they created space for me, right? When I met Michael Little and Tim Lewis, when we were hanging out with Eric Thomas in Traverse, Michigan, I was just going there to meet a friend. I was going there to meet Eric.
Yeah.
And here they come in and we just said like, hey, are you meeting ET as well? They're like, yeah. And we sat down and this whole event was birthed. Like, so for me, it's like, no, I didn't do everything together. I didn't do everything on my own. Like he and I built something and then he ran with it. And here we are.
Yeah. You are doing it on your own. It's noticing those people along the way. Like I said, it's like Mike is doing this on his own. I was doing Noble. Like, but there were strategic people to help me do it on my own, if that makes sense. Like, those people were put there. You put yourself in positions to run into those people.
To execute.
To execute.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's all about, having great relationships and leveraging those relationships in a respectful way, right?
Yeah.
And doing things together. But I always say, like, you're only as good as your circle. Everybody says that. And if you have a powerful circle that just are a bunch of get shit done type of people, you're going to excel because of that, right? But I want to go back. And I want to,
I want to say something to that point, though.
Yeah.
If you have that mentality, your circle tends to have that mentality because you tend to attract people that are like-minded. Like my group of friends right now, one of them, the real estate attorney, I've known him since we were 4.
Wow.
We went to school together, didn't talk to him we graduated high school, didn't talk to him for probably 15 years almost. I was at a baseball game one day and he showed up to an event I was at and I went, what are you doing here? And he goes, what are you doing here? Started talking. He's a real estate attorney.
Yeah.
Well, I was in real estate. Friend of mine lived condo below me, plays hockey. He's a Navy pilot.
That's sick.
And it was like his dad did certain things and his mentality and his drive, and Igor, who was the real estate attorney who I've known forever, his drive, and then meeting Mike, and you just tend to, and another good buddy, Seth, like had his own oil company, brokerage company, like different industries that all kind of, you had to be your own self-motivator.
Yeah.
He was an oil broker. He worked for himself. And similar to my grandfather, it was him and his dad. You had to get up in the morning and make shit happen.
Yeah.
Or else you'd didn't make any money. And that's the mentality that you have to succeed in business. Like, I used to have people tell me, oh, you work for yourself, you day trade. Like, if you don't feel like working, you don't have to work. Yeah. It's like, yeah, if I don't work though,
I don't make money.
I don't make money.
Yeah.
So it's not like, yeah, I get to do whatever I want. Like, yeah, I played golf sometimes.
Yeah, I watched a little Netflix.
Maybe I made a couple trades in the morning. It was 85 degrees and sunny, so I'd go play golf at 2 o'clock.
Shit, why not?
But I still woke up. I still was up to look at the pre-market. I was still looking at charts. Like, to this day, I haven't day traded in 6 years. I still have CNBC on my TV all day.
That's so crazy.
I can't break that habit.
Is it nostalgic for you, like with your grandfather? Does that bring?
It's a little nostalgic. It's still somewhat relevant to the industry I'm in too. Like, I talk to people all the time about the 10-year treasury.
Yes.
A lot of real estate agents, and they have absolutely no idea
tied to the rate.
Why that is important.
Right.
Like, well, that's the most closely related thing to mortgage rates.
Exactly.
And if you don't understand that, then I think I saw that their stats came out. There's 7,700 agents roughly in this area. Half of them do business, half of them do none. And then you've got the top that actually do a bunch of business.
Right.
If you want to separate yourself and you want to succeed in your field, those are those little things that you need to learn.
That's added value.
That initiative, yeah,
that's added value.
Learn your craft.
Yeah.
And I've heard Mike preach that numerous times in trainings at Iron Valley is like, hone your craft, learn your craft, learn things that make you different. That are going to grow your business. Yeah, everybody can read whatever real estate book on how to sell 100 houses or whatever, but like, that's what worked for that guy. Yeah, doesn't mean it's going to necessarily translate to. And every city is different. But if you understand how things work, have those lunches, with brokers and lenders and title, and understand each. You don't have to be an expert in it,
right? But
understand it.
But I think also too, like to your point about that, is it's important to understand it, not just from a knowledge standpoint. It's important to understand all of it, so you can be dangerous enough to send people that way.
Yeah,
like
enough to say this is who you talk to. But let me get you in touch with that person.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it's how you build a massive business, right? And I'm reading a book right now called Go Giver. All right. It's a really good book.
I gotta get better at books. I think school traumatized me with books, and like I had to read them, so I'm not a fan of reading books.
Don't get it twisted. My buddy David Waldy sent it to me.
All right.
Randomly. Just, kind of out of the, I said, hey, what's your address? I sent it to him. And in comes 2 books, and one of them is Go Giver. I'm like, beautiful. So I'm like, I have to read this. But typically I'm not a big reader either. I probably should do it a lot more. Yeah. But my mind, like if I'm at home and just sitting there, I feel like I'm not doing anything. So after my workout, if I can squeeze it in before the kids wake up or on a weekend or something like that, I'll crack it open a little bit. But yeah, dude,
I should get better about reading.
Yeah, dude, me too. All right, you heard it. Matt and I are going to read more.
That's my goal for 2025.
Read more. That's easy.
To be fair, yeah, if you start at 0, 1 books.
Boom. Crushed it.
Yeah.
100% improvement.
All right.
It's freaking fantastic. I want to talk about your specific company, and because I know when I did some research on your company, there's a lot of talk about technology and innovation, right? How has that played a part in helping the consumer not be surprised by closing statements, et cetera, and how has it made those relationships for you better?
Yeah, so I have to definitely give credit to Sarah, business development, director of business development. Having been in the industry, she kind of came up and showed me these ideas, and it's crazy because I had bought 6 rental properties before I bought my own house.
Right.
And to me, I had to relearn real estate because to me, closing was a transaction. Like there was no emotion to it.
Interesting.
Even when I bought my condo, I signed some documents. Yeah. It was done. Like there was no emotion. There was
complete
no
removal.
It was just, I've done this plenty of times. Bought, sold, whatever. So then I kind of took a step back and realized, okay, that's not the experience for most people.
No.
So most people are nervous. Most people are scared. It's a lot of numbers. You don't come from a background with numbers and finance and money. You don't understand how
it's intimidating.
And the last thing you want is to show up at closing and you get a closing disclosure. It's 5 pages long. It's got everything broken down and the prepaids and the taxes and all that. And I have absolutely no idea what any of this.
Yeah, what is this?
And it's the first time you're seeing it because the lender sent you a, 3 weeks ago sent you the one he has to send you that had nothing like the real numbers on it.
Yeah, it was like
get you
thousands of dollars lower.
You know, we can talk about the rules and Dodd-Frank and all that stuff.
I want to. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than like as a you know, as the buyer or the seller, like, okay, if it's a refi, I'm getting this much back at closing. Like I'm getting, oh, okay, cool. It's 70 grand back at closing. And you need that 70 grand for something.
Yeah.
Maybe a down payment on another home. And then you get your final closing statement and you're getting 40. And now you're like, oh my God. Or not, that's pretty extreme.
So yeah.
No, they're not that, but.
Technology wise, one of the big things we have is the calculator on our website. That has all of our preloaded fees in there. When you put the taxes in, depending on what city you've said the property is in, it knows if it's quarterly or semi-annually, you know, prorated taxes.
Awesome.
It can break down pretty close.
Okay.
I find that most people use it for seller net sheets to see how much money they're going to make.
Right.
And that's within, unless you lie, which
a lot of people do.
Forget that they modified their loan and there's $100,000 on the back end they got to pay off, or solar panels.
Yeah.
Don't buy solar panels, by the way.
Solar, that's a good one.
It's a UCC lien. You're going to have to pay it off.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Great way to quickly ruin equity in your house. But yeah, that giving the ability to have agents have access to that so that when they go on a listing appointment or they're talking to their first time buyer, they can go on that calculator, put all that information there and have it able to present and break it down for the client line by line to show, okay, this is where this goes. This is where this is. This is how you know, where your earnest money deposit's going. This is what you're going to have to bring. We can try to negotiate that, you know, with the seller.
That's empowerment.
So just showing people, making it less scary for the end user and giving agents tools to use to better their business so that we can get business.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we've got the calculator. We've got a portal. So once you go under contract, we have the contract. Clients have a portal and agents have a portal. Agent portal, once you send one deal, your portal's there forever.
Wow.
And every deal you do is in your portal and you can see where it is in the process, title search, things like that. Our wire instructions are in there. You can send money through it. And the client has their portal where they can see where we are in the step, you know, what step of the process it's in. So EMD, submit through our website, just things that make it more convenient because nobody wants to drive around a EMD check at 6 o'clock at night and drop it off in a Dropbox or have to come to that.
What's an EMD check?
So earnest money deposit.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You know, you got to have consideration. So old school used to be everybody had to wet sign contracts and get a check and the agent had to bring it to either the, you know, real estate brokerage or the title company who was going to hold it. Now everything's just online.
Yeah.
It's secure. You got to verify through your bank and everybody gets a receipt. So it's just making things easier for the client and the agent is what I want to do. Our slogan is simplified settlements or settlements simplified. That's the idea, to make it not so buttoned up and like scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not an 80-year-old lawyer that's coming in and be dry and boring and
exactly.
And I do most of the closings. I probably do 90% of the closings.
That's
myself.
awesome. How many employees do you have there?
We just got 2 more, so I think we're at 9 or 10.
That's awesome.
But I think that goes back to the whole day trading thing where I sat in a room by myself for 9 years. Now I like to sit across from people.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fun, like seeing that excitement that I guess kind of I was numb to when I did it. So like seeing, you know, that 20-year-old kid buying their first house, family never owned houses before, but they've got the chance to do it. Or I did a closing for a guy that was 60 some years old, never owned a house.
It was his first house.
And first house.
Wow.
Broke down in tears after closing. Like that's the fun side of it. That's the doing things, helping people. That's a big part of our business too. Title companies and things around here, you know, people sponsor events and do stuff all the time. We started off that way. I looked at what people were doing and I was like, all right, that's what we got to do. And I realized everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, we're not doing anything different.
Right.
I was like, we're fortunate enough to be in area that is so transient. There's so much real estate activity. Going back to what you and I were talking about before, competition. There's always competition.
Of course there is.
Tuning those out. You know, there's enough agents in this area for everybody to succeed. Let's do something different. So we started doing community service kind of stuff. Started doing more outreach stuff. We do an autism event every year with one of the agents at Iron Valley. We're going on our 3rd year doing that.
It's amazing.
So that's gone from a little thing we have a backyard area at the office, little thing there, to a local bar in the area that has a giant outdoor space linked up with the Eliza Hope Foundation. It's a local autism center here. We just had the mobile mammography unit from Centera Hospital in our parking lot this week. That was Sarah. But doing things that we did the Virginia SPCA, we've done 2 years in a row. So we've gone to their gala, been a sponsor of that. Giving back, you know, we still do all the normal stuff too.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like we have the power to be different and give back.
That right there, though.
And if that gets me business, it gets me business. But if not, we're giving back.
But I want the audience to marinate on that for a second. Like, you know, push pause and really think about what Matt said. And for me, when I'm listening to it, it's like the opportunity to set yourself apart from, you know, what everybody else.
I don't know how you don't hit this thing every time I hit this microphone. I don't know where it's supposed to be.
It's like, I don't know. Is this? Am I
know what to do with my hands.
Ricky Bobby. Yeah, I was just like, I was the same way. I don't know what to do with my hands. It's interesting because, you know, while you're creating this trust within the community, right? And of course, you're not there pitching the people when they're there getting their, you know, mammograms or the autism event for 3 years running. But it solidifies you in a community, and it shows everybody what the culture and what the people are about at your company. And then, of course, when it comes time, they're like, hey, I'm buying a house. I need to call Noble Title and Escrow to see who I should use for a realtor representation. And I know I'm just going to ask that.
That actually happened. That actually happened at the event the other day.
See? But that's awareness. That's eyeballs. That's providing the value. And it's funny because I was scouring your Google reviews. Not one under 5 stars. Come on, man.
That's gonna be that goalie superstition right there. Not, you know,
I just fucked it up, dude. I'm sorry.
It's been a good run. Game right now.
Hey, it's been a good run.
No,
you're gonna get a bunch of ones. But no, I just think that in like seeing what the people are writing,
and that's
is empowering.
And that's the approach that I've taken. Sarah and I are very on the same page on this. Non-sales sales approach.
Love it.
Because I am that person, and I'll give the example. There's a Xerox representative that comes by he was coming by the office, and we already have Xerox.
Yeah.
And he would stop by unannounced and ask to talk to me. Like, I'm not that guy that says I'm always, I have a very open door policy for agents. Anybody that needs to talk to me, I legit have an open door policy. But I also live and die by my calendar.
Sure.
And we got closings that the last thing I'll ever do is if an agent client show up early and I don't have a closing before them, I'm going to do that closing then. I'm not going to make you wait for your 2:30 appointment. You're there. Let me get you in and out. You want to buy this house. You don't want to be in my office.
Yeah.
So Xerox guy walks in the office. So I go up front, introduce myself. And I say, all right, thanks. Like, if I need anything, I'll reach out. He showed up the next week. I was like, I told you if I needed something, I'll reach out. Well, turns out we opened a satellite office. I needed another printer because that printer was going up there. Guess who I didn't call?
Him.
Because all you did was annoy me.
Because you didn't follow instructions.
Exactly. So my thing is, I'm not gonna hound you. There's lots of people out there that will.
Yeah.
And if that's what works for you, it does. Like, I'm quality over quantity.
Yep.
And not everybody likes to hear that.
Yeah.
I'd rather grow slow, have agents that close with us or send their clients our way because of genuine connection, and we think the same, we operate the same. Yeah, it'd be cool to make $1 million a month.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. But
that's not real.
Yeah.
Like, I like where I can sit, talk to the agents, the clients. like friends. That's that connection where I know like if there's a problem, they're not just going to drop me for the next guy that called because they're going to take them for a beer.
Yep.
They're going to call me.
Yeah.
And most agents that we work with, I give them my cell phone.
Yeah, of course.
If I'm awake, I will answer. It may
That's
be
wild, bro.
It may be. Hold on.
You don't have a shut off?
This is what I tell people. If I'm awake, you'll most likely get a response. And it might be, hey, I can't talk right now. You know, give me a call tomorrow morning. And you can't do anything entitled at 11 o'clock at night anyways.
No, you can't.
But there's sometimes that people have an issue accessing the portal or have an issue sending their EMD. If I'm awake, what does it take 5 minutes of my time to answer the phone and be like, hey, yeah, what do you need? Unless I'm in the middle of doing something. And if I'm in the middle of doing something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honor your boundary, right? But if you're doing nothing and you're sitting there and it's 9 p.m., like, and if this person needs something, you can do it. Why not? Right?
It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't take anything away from me to be there for these people.
It's funny. My wife always makes fun of me, dude. She goes, you always feel like you have to respond immediately. And I'm like, but if I'm not doing anything, why not? Like, why? Because for me,
if I don't respond though, and then I have 10 other texts, and then I can't have a notification on my phone.
No,
it drives me absolutely.
We're so much alike, dude.
I'm so OCD with that,
shit, dude.
As soon as I have to clear notification. So if I do that, that means I clicked on your text, so I can clear the notification. If I don't respond, I'm gonna forget,
dude. Same.
And so, I mean, I finished. It's like example. I still play men's league hockey now.
Oh, cool.
I played last night. Game was at 9:40.
Oh, Jesus.
So we got off the ice around 11, and I had a text, and I was like, "Hey, just got done playing hockey. Give you a shot in the morning."
Yeah.
Just acknowledge them. That's all. That's really what people need.
That's value.
Value, and like when I say I'm there, I'm there.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Standing by your word, and is important. So.
Absolutely, man. You get any fights now?
We're not allowed to fight. There are fights from time to time.
Okay.
There hasn't been one in a while. There was one in a handshake line a couple years ago.
Seriously, tell me about that.
I don't even know. There was a penalty towards the end of the game. So men's league hockey, there's always a handshake after every game.
Okay, yeah.
Most people can let it go. And I don't know. I was behind this guy, and it was the guy in front of me that him and this other guy had a little issue. And the other guy in the handshake line just punches the guy in front. So then they start going, and then everybody started grabbing each other. This is 11 o'clock at night. Like,
this is men's league.
This is men's league hockey in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
I still have the photo. We talk about it all the time. I have a screenshot of the game summary still, and it's like misconduct, with fighting. And it was like 6 of us, and there's just little fights breaking out. And I started going with this guy, and I had him, by the jersey, and he had me. And I looked at him, and I was like, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm not doing this. Yeah. Like, I gotta go to work.
Is that what you said to him?
Yeah. I was like,
hey, bro, I don't want to.
We started, and I was like,
what are we doing?
What are you doing?
What are we fighting for?
I was like, you and I had beers in the lobby like last week.
Yeah, what are we doing?
And that's the funny thing too about men's league is like you leave it on the ice. Yeah. And I think that's something I think people can apply to business.
Yeah.
Is like the ability to leave something where it is.
Yeah.
Like I've had arguments, goes back to my grandfather, like punched a hole in the wall. Like
that's wild, man, with your grandpa.
Like the day, we were selling the house. So it was the back room in their house was our office. It was his office forever. And then it became our office. And you walked in, and right on the wall when you walk in was me and my brother's heights from growing up. So awesome. All these marks have been there for 20 years at this point. And yeah, he wanted, it was NVIDIA stock. Now, if I'd held NVIDIA stock, what it is now, I'd be on an island, probably not talking to you right now.
You might be.
But it was going down, and his famous thing was, it'll come back. Right. That's not how it works. Like, I'm very analytical, and that drives Mike nuts, by the way.
It would drive me crazy too.
Very lawyer mindset, because that's what I grew up around. Right. I look at every negative to support what I'm like. Here's everything that could go wrong, so let's plan that way. And yes, it drives me nuts too sometimes, but that's just the way I think, so I can't change it. So I'm sitting there reading charts, analyzing. I'm like, we got to get out. Like, it's breaking its trend. He's like, nah, it'll come back. And I was like, you want it? It's your fucking trade. And I went to leave, and I punched the hole in the wall right next to the lines. And he's just like, I fucking ate my words. The stock came back like 2 days later and we ended up making money on it.
That's okay though.
He was always right.
Yeah,
he was always right.
Yeah.
But I was young and dumb, and
that's a good mistake, right?
yeah.
And it just shows you, right? It shows you that patience and that discipline that it could be down.
That's also what I tell people too, like in that unofficial mentor role that I somehow find myself in from time to time. It's okay to have those slip ups and fuck ups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've gotten very good at it lately of tempering those outbursts.
Yeah.
It took a long time. Again, I came from a sport where,
dude,
you do something wrong, you sit down for 2 minutes and then it's over.
You go to your timeout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 2 minutes and then you're free.
Yeah.
Slouch shot quote. But it's fine to have emotion. Emotion is passion. You can fuck up. You can slip up. It's what you do after that. And like you leave it in the past. It happened.
Yes.
And like you said before, can't look at that and go, oh, woe is me. Like, yeah, I fucked up. Own it.
Yep.
And move on and grow from it. And that's where I've got, like, today, there was an issue in the office. Somebody pissed me off. I woke up, it was like 8 o'clock and I'm already getting an email. And don't threaten my business. Say you're going to do something that I know is an empty threat. And I'm on like 4 hours of sleep. I played hockey last night. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Not how I wanted to start this morning.
Of course not.
24-year-old me would have fired off an email right away.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like, let's have coffee.
Yeah.
Let's think this through.
Yep.
You know, it was something that when I worked for the minor league hockey team, I always tell people there's 2 people that I was more scared of growing up than my dad. And one was the coach, one was the GM, and they terrified the living daylights out of me. I still know them to this day. They're awesome.
Cool.
We have very different conversations than when I was 15 working in the locker room.
Man.
But my grandfather was one big mentor and they were another. And that was like, don't act on emotion. You have to process things. If you act on emotion, most of the time, that initial reaction is going to be wrong.
My wife tells me all the time, you need to think about this. I'm like, no, this is how I feel. This is it.
So my mom used to tell me.
Yeah, and she goes, yeah, well, I'm like a toddler sometimes, dude. I'm not going to freaking lie to you.
I think
she will tell you. She will.
I still have the sense of humor of a 14-year-old. So
dude,
fine.
Trust me, my sense of humor is pretty twisted. But you know, that's the thing. She always said, you think this through. You know, no need to figure this out now. Take a deep breath, wait a little bit, and then proceed and respond how you feel you really need to.
And that's a big thing in business. Yeah,
man. Well, look, dude, I've really enjoyed having you on the show, talking about your company and your mindset and your disciplines on how you built this whole thing. I think it's an interesting story, and I know the audience has gotten a ton out of it. I want to ask you one more question before we shut this bad boy down.
All right.
What does determination mean to you?
The unwillingness to give up.
That's it. What does that look like?
I think it looks like what we've talked about over there. I don't know how long we've been in here.
45 minutes, yeah.
You know, all that stuff that we've talked about of, yeah, you're going to get that egg on your face. Yeah, you're going to fuck up. Yeah, you're going to stumble. Don't let that crush your spirit.
Yeah.
Don't let that be the thing that beats you. You know, hockey guy. Herb Brooks is one of my, the 1980 Miracle on Ice.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
The background on my computer is you have to be uncommon. The common man goes nowhere.
Yep.
Don't be like, and some people if that's what you are, that like, if you're okay doing that,
cool,
fine. That's your path.
Yeah.
If you do want to elevate and you want to do your own thing and create your own destiny, yeah, you got to be determined. You got to be willing to take those shots and not give up.
I love it. And for the audience, you guys always hear me say, discipline is not, and determination is not this gritty, fighting, scratching and clawing social media definition of being determined, right? It's not running 17 miles every day. That's just idiotic on your body.
I would say, and what you just said, I would say discipline and determination are not the same thing.
No, they're not.
Those are completely, you can be undisciplined and determined.
Sure.
May not make it as fast.
Right.
But you don't have to be, again, you don't have to do 17 miles a day or whatever. Like, let yourself have some grace.
Exactly. I think it's just super important for everyone to understand what determination means, that you are getting up and doing the work, executing your process, even when your emotions are telling you not to. Your emotions, at any point in time when you're building something, you can feel them, lean into them, but still move forward a little bit. Your 100% isn't going to be the same every day, right?
And that's something I've learned too in business, and that I tell people now that you could have told 25-year-old me and I never would have listened, is that it's okay that if that day you don't have it.
Yeah.
Take a break. Go play. And today, I was stressed out beyond belief this morning. Had that whole stuff going on in the office. I was doing this podcast. You're the first podcast I've ever been on.
You've crushed it, by the way.
I was like, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to talk about. I hate talking about myself. And now here you got me talking about myself for 45 minutes.
Fucking imagine that.
You're like a therapist.
I know. I'm really good.
More often. Probably good for me.
I'm really good at my job.
But I went and had a cigar. That's not advocating for smoking. Smoking's bad. Yada, yada, yada. I love cigars. I got to dip in right now.
I'm so jealous. I quit a long time ago. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I was going to say baseball, hockey.
Yeah.
So I quit for a while. But that cigar, and people that hour and a half of having a cigar, we had this conversation at the shop. It is a disconnect from reality. It lets you reset. You let yourself reset.
Yeah.
100%.
You have to, man.
If you go 100% every day, you will burn out. And I did it with day trading. It cost me relationships. It cost me whatever. Give yourself a break.
I love it, dude. I love it. And we're going to end on that. To everybody that has listened to this show, go check out my boy's company. It'll be in the show notes. Click on it. Just learn a little bit more about him. And if you know anybody in the Virginia Beach area that's buying or selling a house, Noble Title and Escrow, please hit them up. And until next time, guys, stay determined.
Real quick. We are licensed in all of Virginia, so we can close anything in Virginia.
Anything in Virginia? Let's go. I said Virginia Beach, but whatever.
But yeah.
The whole damn state.
Yeah.
Call my boy.
You got questions, reach out.
Yeah. See ya.
Shawn French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time, I confirmed it. A whole society determined.